Hello everyone, welcome to the 19th Annual Benefit by the Sea. I'm Martha Stone, the Executive Director at Crossroads House.
Hi, I'm Lex Scourby. I'm a member of the Crossroads House Board of Directors and also Chair of their Development Committee. In the past, we've hosted a wonderful fundraising gala at the Wentworth by the Sea Hotel in Newcastle. This year, we're coming to you virtually. We really miss seeing you all in person. This is one of our favorite nights of the year because it's a great way to connect with you, the people that make the work we do possible.
We're going to wait a couple of seconds to let folks get logged on, but in the meanwhile, I'll share a few housekeeping items. If you experience technical difficulties, please try refreshing your page or backing out and logging in again. This evening's program will be recorded and will be shared later on our website, crossroadshouse.org, and our social media channels.
We are looking forward to a time when we can get together again, but in the meantime, we still need help. We'll be spending the next 45 minutes letting you know about the work at Crossroads House has been doing to help keep men, women, and children experiencing homelessness safe during this pandemic.
We also have current and former shelter residents who will be sharing their stories with you, and you will be able to see firsthand the impact that your support makes in the lives of so many people.
For those who have attended past Crossroads House galas, you may remember I'm the guy who will always asking you to consider making a donation. Tonight is no different. While we're using a different format, there is still a fundraiser. So we'll be asking for your support. There are many ways you can help us. If you are joining us live, you can click below to make a donation tonight. If you are watching this video later, donations can be made anytime by visiting our website, crossroadshouse.org, and clicking on the Donate New button.
It looks like we're ready to go, so let's get started.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are so thrilled you could join us this evening. I'd like to introduce our board president, Ben St. John, with a short message for all of our viewers.
Welcome to Crossroads House, Benefit by the Sea 2021. My name is Ben St. John, and I have the pleasure of serving as president of the board of directors for Crossroads House. Unfortunately, we cannot be together in person again this year. Nonetheless, we've put together a very captivating program for you. This evening, apart from hearing from Martha Stone and Lex Scourby, you'll also hear from some of our residents who have benefited firsthand from the many programs and services provided by Crossroads House to residents and made possible due to your generosity. Also, you'll hear from some of our many donors and sponsors as to why they choose to support Crossroads House. The last 12 to 14 months have brought Crossroads House challenges never before dreamed of. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. Remarkably, Crossroads House management, department directors, and staff did yeoman's work to reorganize the shelter and assist residents to be as safe as possible, all the while performing the necessary day-to-day duties and delivering solid results in care and housing placement, to name but a few. Now, as we look toward the next year, our work continues, our challenges remain, and we all need to continue to be vigilant. Indeed, it's been a remarkable year. I hope you enjoy this evening's program and you see some of the good work Crossroads House delivers for our residents and to our community. Thank you so much for taking some of your time to be with us this evening, and thank you for your consideration and your generosity. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Ben. As Ben mentioned, throughout the evening, we'll be sharing stories from residents and videos from our sponsors.
We are so grateful for the tremendous outpouring of support we have received so far from those of you who sponsored this event. Our nearly 50 sponsors have contributed a combined total of $233,500 of the $400,000 we need to raise through this event. We're blown away by this incredible level of donor support, which actually sets a new record for this event. We will be sharing the names of our sponsors throughout the evening, and a full list can be found on our website, crossroadshouse.org.
That's great, Mother. I'd like to start by taking a moment to introduce our lead sponsor this evening, the 100 Club. This year, the 100 Club stepped up to sponsor the Benefit by the Sea with a $30,000 donation. Here to tell you a little bit about why the 100 Club supports Crossroads is Neil Gibb.
Hi, my name is Neil Gibb, and on behalf of the 100 Club, we are honored to show our continued support through this sponsorship for the Crossroads House. Over the years, I've been inspired by so many of our members who have given so generously to this most worthy of causes. I've also seen firsthand the hard work and dedication that it takes to provide the services and resources that are offered at Crossroads House. The board of directors and the dedicated staff work hard to provide programs and services that protect the most vulnerable in our community by providing transitional housing for those who seek to end the cycle of homelessness. Our hope is that others will join us in recognizing the importance of this organization in our community, and also to thank those who work so hard to make this happen. Thank you very much. God bless.
We're so grateful to Neil and the members of the 100 Club for their tremendous generosity and support of Crossroads House. Stay tuned as we will be thanking all of our sponsors throughout this evening.
On that note, I'd like to say a thank you to some of the people who make the day-to-day work we do possible. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our board of directors. Their leadership, guidance, and generous support keeps us strong and resilient. In addition, I'd like to thank our amazing staff. Jessica Parker gets a special shout out for managing this virtual event this evening. Moving forward, we will talk a little bit more about our COVID response over the past year, but we truly could not have remained open 24/7 to help the men, women, and children with nowhere else to go without our staff's dedication. Whether they were working directly with residents in the shelter or helping behind the scenes, each and every one of their contributions during these difficult times is greatly appreciated.
That's great, Mother. Most of you know Crossroads House, but for those of you who are new to our organization, we are a homeless shelter located in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. The Crossroads House provides shelter and supportive services for families and individuals experiencing homelessness. And we've been serving the Seacoast community since 1982.
Crossroads House provides a safe place to stay, meals, and basic life needs like showers, laundry, phone and internet access. Our ultimate goal is to help people experiencing homelessness find and keep safe, stable, permanent housing. We do that by providing individualized case management and connecting residents with community resources. Partner agencies provide on-site and telehealth assistance in the form of medical care, mental health care, counseling, psychiatric care, and other services.
Whether times are good or bad, the doors at Crossroads House are always open for people with nowhere else to go. And while we're here tonight to give you some insight into the work being done at Crossroads House, we are also here to ask for your support. We cannot help the hundreds of people who walk through our doors every year without help from people like you. In fact, I'd like to introduce one of our board members, Steve Goddard, and his wife Karen, who are coming to us from the West Coast tonight to start this fundraiser. Steve?
Hi, everyone. We're so happy to be joining you.
We feel extremely blessed and grateful to be able to donate $30,000 to Crossroads House in support of the incredible work this organization does to help those experiencing homelessness.
You know, we know every dollar given to Crossroads is used in the best and most effective way possible to serve and support those amongst us with the greatest need.
Please join us in giving whatever you can to support this marvelous organization. Thanks.
Thanks.
Wow, thank you so much, Steve and Karen. What a great way to kick off our evening, and in such a generous way.
You can make a difference in the lives of your neighbors in need as well. Join Steve and Karen by making a donation tonight. During our in-person event, we typically do not hold an auction or raffle, but simply ask guests to provide support at different levels. We usually start at $220,000 and work our way down, giving examples along the way of how your donations can make an impact on the residents at Crossroads House. Tonight we'll be sharing some of the same information in a slightly different way. Please note, gifts at all levels are appreciated, and every gift matters.
Donating is easy. Just click below during the live presentation, or you can go to our website, crossroadshouse.org, anytime and click on the Donate Now button. Gifts at all levels are needed to help to run the shelter. This year, we need to fundraise over $1 million from private donors to make sure we are there when people need us.
You never know when you need assistance, and no one ever believes that they could become homeless. It's hard to imagine not having a safe place to stay, especially during this past year. But for the people who seek assistance at Crossroads House, that's their reality. Here are some of our residents to tell you about it now in their own words.
I feel very fortunate to have been a resident here at Crossroad House during the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't know what I would have done had I still been in my car at that time. I couldn't have managed, I don't think.
It's put me out of work, basically. I had 3 different jobs lined up. You know, now I'm broke. It's hit this country bad.
We all know the challenges of finding a new place, and particularly in the Seacoast area. This Portsmouth region is very expensive. When my landlord reneged on her agreement to let me stay in the home, I wasn't prepared for that.
I've slept in car washes. Some places that I'm not proud of, but I was trying to survive. I was always in survival mode.
I was scrambling for places. The pandemic is on, you're not making any money. Oh no, here we are. Found myself homeless.
The homeless situation in Portsmouth, people really don't understand how bad it really is.
Last year, when the pandemic hit, Crossroads House was providing shelter to 120 men, women, and children. Our emergency shelter for adults was operating over our typical capacity. This often happens in the colder months. As you heard, our residents come to us from different living situations, whether they are couch surfing, staying in their cars, or staying outdoors.
With so many people living in a communal setting, Crossroads House had to retool their service delivery and quickly. Staff and board members worked together to formulate a plan that would help keep Crossroads House residents and staff safe. This was no small feat. When the pandemic first hit, we were housing up to 20 people in bunks in each dorm room.
That's right, Lex. For people experiencing homelessness, whether sheltered or unsheltered, the pandemic presented a unique set of challenges that people who are housed did not face. We helped our residents to face those challenges head on, all while remaining focused on our mission to help people without shelter find housing.
Martha, can you talk about some of the changes you had to make at the shelter during the pandemic?
Sure thing. In order to meet CDC guidelines for safety and social distancing, we had to make a lot of changes. First, we needed to significantly decrease the number of people staying in the shelter dorms, even though demand for services was so great. We were fortunate that there was a local motel located right down the street they were able to rent us rooms to house some of our medically vulnerable residents and those residents who were working at essential jobs. We also implemented enhanced cleaning, daily health screenings for all staff and residents. We temporarily halted on-site donation drop-offs and volunteering. We also coordinated remote learning for school-aged children at the shelter, and we renovated some of our living spaces as well. The list goes on, and we continue to stay on top of new developments and address them as needed.
It's amazing you're able to make all those changes and still remain open 24/7.
There was a lot to do, but it all needed to be done, and everyone pitched in, and thankfully, we have so far avoided a major outbreak at the shelter. In fact, we didn't have a single case of COVID from March through December 2020, and since then, we've only had a handful of cases. As a result of our immediate contact tracing, we've been able to minimize exposure. I'm really proud of our staff for their dedication and their perseverance.
As a longtime board member, I know how hard the staff at Crossroad works, and I've seen the results of all your hard work, what it produces as well. That's one of the reasons I continue to support Crossroads House. This year I'm supporting the Benefit by the Sea as a benefactor sponsor. I believe in the mission and the people that you help. I am not the only sponsor at this level. I'd also like to thank Gary and Karen DeStefano for sponsoring at the benefactor level again this year. We are so grateful for their continued support.
Thank you so much, Lex. We really appreciate everything you do for Crossroads House. And thank you to Gary and Karen DeStefano as well. If you'd like to join Lex and make a donation at any level to support Crossroads House, click below or visit our website, crossroadshouse.org, and click on the Donate Now button.
It sounds like you and the staff have been very busy trying to keep everyone safe. And it sounds like you've done a remarkable job as well.
Thank you, Lex. We have worked hard. We really have. You know, in addition to all of the changes we made to our service delivery, we also coordinated with other community agencies to implement weekly COVID testing for all residents and staff. We were also able to coordinate vaccine clinics for all residents and staff early on. And this was vital as we're a congregate living facility. The great part is that both the testing and the vaccine clinics have been held right at our shelter, so transportation was not a barrier for anyone who wanted to participate.
That's fantastic. Let's hear now from some residents and see how they felt about your response over the past year.
Crossroads was all over it. I mean, since day one, you know, they got us the face masks we need. We had our temperatures taken, we had testing done. I mean, everything came very quickly.
Had almost immediate access to the COVID vaccination shots.
It was offered to everybody. And I was working at the time at Market Basket, so I was right on the front line of this whole pandemic.
Masks were provided for us early on, and we were always kept in the loop about what was going on.
Feel secure knowing that the COVID testing is going on every week.
I've got the test 8 times and I got the 2 shots. And I carry the card faithfully in my back pocket just in case somebody says, "Oh, you want a job?"
They were very on target with the virus and getting what we needed to keep us safe.
It's great to hear the residents talk about how on target they felt you were in your response to the pandemic. I can't imagine not having a safe place to stay over the past year.
It was certainly an unsettling time. Our residents are already experiencing a high level of stress when they come to the shelter. And in the pandemic, it just added a layer of stress for them. I appreciate hearing that they felt safe and cared for because that means that all of our hard work really paid off.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great that you're able to alleviate some fears and create a safe environment. Let's shift now to hear from another supporter, one of our Platinum sponsors, David Della Penta, as to why he and his wife Karen give to Crossroads House.
Hi, I am David Della Penta, and on behalf of my wife Karen, we are honored to provide support during the Crossroads House annual campaign. As we watch the coronavirus play out on a global scale, it localizes the feeling of helplessness on a local scale. However, no matter who you are or your personal circumstances, you can make a difference. The families of the Crossroads House are extremely appreciative of our collective efforts as they receive guidance and support while adapting to their re-entry to the permanent housing and an enhancement to their self-esteem. Lastly, our support is a reassuring way to reinforce ongoing community ties and reminds us that we are all working towards a common goal of assisting those less fortunate. Thank you, Crossroads House, for what you are providing to our fellow citizens and children in the surrounding Portsmouth area.
Thank you so much, David and Karen, for your support this year and your continued support. I'd also like to thank all of our other Platinum sponsors, Bank Prov, Catherine and Mitchell Drew, Little Harbor Charitable Trust Foundation, and Chris Sargent. We really can't do the work we do without people like these sponsors.
I agree, Lex. Our donors really do make a huge impact. I'd also like to thank another group of our sponsors. Please join me in thanking our gold sponsors. Amy Dutton Home, Chris Bellmare, Susan and Mike Daigle, Kathy and Don Doney, Fed Point, Ed and Fran Mallon, Newburyport Bank, Ocean Properties, the Jean and Joseph Sawtell Fund of the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, Seascape Capital, Ben and Andrea St. John, and Mary Lee Warboys. Thank you all so very much for your support this year.
Yes, thank you all. Martha, we've been talking a lot about the shelter's pandemic response tonight. But I know that's just one piece of the work being done at Crossroads House. Can you tell me a little bit about the day-to-day things that you and your staff are doing to help the shelter residents?
Mm-hmm. Of course, our residents face many challenges every day. Crossroads House is a place of last resort. Because of this, they may have moved around quite a bit before coming to the shelter. They stay with family, friends, acquaintances, strangers, in their cars, or even outdoors until they eventually make their way to Crossroads House. When they arrive, they often have many needs beyond shelter. All residents have access to a safe place to stay, 3 meals a day, on-site staff 24/7, showers, laundry, phone, internet, and a host of other basic needs. People often arrive only with the clothes on their backs. Our staff and case managers work one-on-one with people to identify what their needs are and how to help them get back on their feet. People frequently need documentation like birth certificates, social security cards, or photo IDs for themselves or their children. These are things they need to get before they can look at getting a job or a home. The needs are different for everyone. That's why our case managers are so important. They really can help residents build a roadmap from the shelter to permanent housing based on their needs, and then help to make the necessary community connections along the way. They provide invaluable guidance and support that our residents desperately need.
I noted that in the past, during our benefit, we have associated a giving level with case management. If anyone is making a gift of $1,000 tonight, that $1,000 could provide case management for a family during their stay at the shelter. And a donation of $25 helps to purchase copies of personal IDs, documents like birth certificates and photo IDs. You can see that every dollar we raise helps people move up and move on to permanent housing. So please think about making a gift tonight. By clicking below, or if you are watching after this live broadcast, you can donate by going to our website, crossroadshouse.org, and clicking on the Donate Now button. Now let's see another video from some current and former residents.
When I got here, I came here with the clothes on my back. So I needed birth certificates, social security card, paperwork to try to get food stamps, to try to get as much help as I could.
They have provided us here with clothing, shoes, jackets, food, anything.
I was eating a lot of unhealthy junk food. You know, I'd take it in my car and find my spot, and settle in for the night, and then have my dinner, have my slice of pizza. My first day that I came to Crossroad House, I remember so clearly. I was really nervous, and I was pretty devastated to be here initially. But the dinner, I was so grateful to have. They had chicken. It was chicken and vegetables, and I just was like, I cleaned my plate. Like, it was so nice to have.
When you come to Crossroads, they give you like a team of workers to help you. After you leave Crossroads and you do get to your apartment, they come and help you there. It's like, it's continuous. It's not just homelessness. They do so much for you.
They're respectful to each and every individual human that's in here, when they have big issues or they have small ones. And that is outstanding from Crossroads.
That clip really speaks to where people are at when they come to stay at Crossroads House. I know one person mentioned that she was living in her car and could only eat junk food, convenience store pizza, and dollar menu items at the drive-thru, but she remembers her first meal at the shelter. Another person mentioned being treated with respect. Over the years, we've often heard people say that they remember the first person they spoke with when they arrived at Crossroads House, or they remember their first meal that they had. Because those things clearly had a positive impact on them.
Martha, making sure everyone is well fed is so important. Did you know that a donation of $2,500 tonight could provide food for the shelter for a whole month? Before the pandemic, we had volunteers preparing and serving dinner every night for our residents. I know we hear so much from people how much those meals meant to them. Over the past year, we suspended on-site volunteering, but the volunteers continued to cook at home and bring their food over to the shelter. In addition, they provided meals to the residents that were staying at the hotels. We are looking forward to the day when our kitchen is filled with volunteers again.
I agree. We really miss having our volunteers at the shelter. But it's great that we've found some creative ways to keep some folks involved, like those that are cooking at home and delivering the prepared meals back to us. Let's take a moment now to thank our silver sponsors. They include Suzanne Brissett, Bob and Gail Brown, Jeff and Denise Croto, Thomas and Lori DeRocher, Steve and Karen Goddard, Vanda and John Moore, Chuck Silva and Margaret Moran, Joe and Sue St. Martin, and Kevin and Lynn Swenson. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you all. You know, Martha, you mentioned some of the challenges residents are facing and how helpful the supportive services at Crossroads House are. What would you say is the greatest challenge for people at Crossroads House right now?
Our number one challenge outside of dealing with the pandemic is the affordable housing crisis. Well before the pandemic hit, we were experiencing a severe shortage of affordable rental units. In the Seacoast area, our vacancy rate is less than 1%. A normal rate is around 5%. That means that the rental market is extremely competitive and prices are sky high. It's particularly challenging for our residents to compete if they have a history of an eviction or poor credit. Our residents on waiting lists for subsidized public housing or housing choice vouchers will often have to wait many months or even years to come to the top of the waiting list. For those who are fortunate to get a housing voucher, it's very challenging to find a unit in the required price range that will also pass a HUD inspection and a landlord who's willing to accept the voucher. So there are a lot of challenges, but despite these, our case managers continue to help residents navigate their way through this challenging housing market to help them find stable, permanent housing.
You know, Martha, it really does illustrate how important case management is for our people. Let's hear now from some residents about their experiences looking for an apartment.
That's your number one objective, is to get housing, because that's why you don't want to be homeless anymore.
And change can be hard, but it was good. It was good because now I have more of a chance with trying to get some type of housing. I'm looking forward to having, seeing the excitement on my son's face when he has his own room.
Once I get into this apartment and I get a new truck, and I'm going to start doing smaller jobs.
All you got to do is do the work, and for me, I welcomed it, and I gave them everything. They want you to succeed. They want you to get your place. They want you to stand on your own 2 feet and not have to go back. I don't want to come back. I want them to say, look at Suzanne. Look at what she's done. Look at where she came from. She had nothing. I was so tired of losing everything I worked hard for. And I want to be an example to my kids and show them, that, yeah, my life has been difficult, but I've gotten to where I needed to be and where I want to be and be happy.
One interesting statistic in that last video that I want to point out is that in 2020, despite an affordable housing crisis and a global pandemic, Crossroads House was still able to help 135 people move from homelessness to stable housing.
Well, that's an amazing number, Martha. In a year full of difficulties, it's nice to hear some good news. And so much of this is only made possible through your generosity. You can help transform lives by making a contribution tonight. Please consider clicking below or going to our website, crossroadshouse.org, now and donate.
I'd like to take a moment now to thank another group of our sponsors for this evening's program. Thank you so much to our bronze business sponsors, AmeriHealth Caritas, MA and RT Architects, Chimberg Properties, Kennebunk Savings, Martini Northern, McLean Law Firm, Predictable Profits, Kevin O'Brien Wealth Management Group of Wells Fargo Advisors, and Vigilant Capital Management. In addition, we'd like to thank two in-kind sponsors this evening, Vital and Sean Tracy Associates, for their support of our event.
Thank you all. We have so many generous sponsors this evening that, combined with your donations tonight, will go a long way towards helping families and individuals get back on their feet and into a home of their own. For some residents, the help they receive at Crossroads House doesn't end when they move into their own apartment.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Lex. Crossroads House residents have access to post-shelter support. Our housing stability case managers work with former residents in their new homes and provide assistance connecting with community resources, maintaining the services set up while they were in the shelter, budgeting, and they can also act as a resource for landlords should any issues arise. We mentioned earlier this evening that housing is really hard to find right now. This program helps keep people in the apartments they worked so hard to find and helps to keep them from returning to homelessness. One of our former residents who benefited from housing stability case management was Stacy. Some of you may remember her. She was a single mom with 2 children who stayed with us a couple of years ago. At our last in-person gala, Stacy graciously shared her story by appearing in our agency video. If you have not yet seen Stacy's story, that and other videos can be found on our website. Last week, Stacy called to say she heard we were having a virtual fundraising event this year, and that she had recorded a short video to let you all know how she and her family are doing. We were delighted and totally surprised to hear from her and are pleased to share her update with you now.
Hi everyone, I'm Stacy. Crossroads House has no idea I'm making this video for them. And I apologize, I'm not a polished professional. I'm gonna have my notes here and read them. I'm actually sitting at my desk in my home office like everyone has these days. It is Friday, April 9th, 2021, and I'm going to tell you what I want to say. I have been thinking for some time now how grateful I am about Crossroads House and wanting to make a video in some way to let people know how we're doing since we left there and since we made our last video with them. I want to say thank you for all the people and places that have helped us over the past few years. I feel my family is a success story, and I felt the desire to give back in some way for all the help. My children and I still have excellent housing. I still have the same job that I got when we were at Crossroads. I'm a department manager now at a Portsmouth retail store. We're doing excellent. My kids are in school. They're on honor roll. Yay! Mostly A's and B's. I'm so proud of them. I learned so much at Crossroads House and their affiliated programs. I realized for my family the value of education and the path out of homelessness and poverty is through education and a good moral compass. I'm a student. I'm a student at Great Bay Community College now. I'm pursuing a degree in business administration. My overall goal is a master's degree in business administration. I'd like my focus to be nonprofits and helping families in need. Crossroads really had an impact on my family so much and lifted us up that I just feel like the experience is like none other. They gave me and my children confidence to move forward in our lives. And they gave us respect. You know, it's an amazing thing. They lifted us up and gave us respect. And I feel like we kind of came in not feeling so great, but we were treated very special there, and I really appreciate them. The program of support they offered even after we moved out, and all the donors who helped provide everything from mentoring services, gift cards, clothing, all that they've done is just so fantastic. Please don't hesitate to make a donation to Crossroads House. They are changing lives just like mine. And this is Stacy. I'm here in Dover on this beautiful, funny day. I realize the gala is like next weekend, and I hope you donate and you're helping to change lives. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
What a great update from Stacy. I remember her video from our last event. It's wonderful to hear how well she and her kids are doing. If you haven't seen Stacy's video, I highly recommend you go check it out at our website, crossroadshouse.org, after this presentation.
Mm-hmm. There are lots of other types of information on our website as well. Everything from resident stories, updates, resources, and our shelter wish list. We also have a full listing of tonight's very generous sponsors. Right now, we have one final group of sponsors to thank. Our bronze level individual sponsors include Ken and Helen Cohen, James and Deborah Cresta, Janet and Wyatt Davis, Wes Gardner, Dennis and Laura Malloy, Kevin McHugh, Katie Moody and Kenny Ernstoff, Douglas Roy, Carol Sawtell, Eric and Martha Stone, and Jenna Thompson. Thank you so much. We've been watching all of the donations come in throughout the broadcast, and I'm happy to say that we've raised another $25,000 towards our goal, which is really exciting.
Oh, that's great news, Martha. Thanks, everyone. We're getting near the end of the program. I wanted to take the time to remind folks that donations in any amount are greatly appreciated. A donation of $50 could provide one night of shelter and supportive services for one resident. And that one night of shelter can make a huge difference.
That's so true. Tonight at the shelter, we have 75 people, including 7 families with 16 children. Crossroads House is providing life-saving shelter and supportive services to some of our most vulnerable neighbors 24/7, 365. We'd like to share one last video to illustrate how vital Crossroads House is for those who need our assistance.
I have no idea where I would be if I didn't come here.
I seriously think I would not be alive today if it wasn't for coming to Crossroads, because I was at my wit's end.
Definitely wouldn't be where I'm at now. And that's one thing I never did, was ask for help before.
I've never been homeless. I've never had people help so much. And they genuinely care. Like, you know, like they want to see you succeed. They want to see you live well and healthy and provide for your kids.
People think all they do is, you know, oh, they find you a place to live. But I think it was much more than that for me. There was an emotional journey that I went through here. And I'm so thankful to every person in this building that helped me through that.
Well, Martha, I feel like that video says so much. It really makes you realize how much Crossroads House means to these individuals. It really makes a positive impact.
Mm-hmm. You know, none of this happens in a vacuum. It takes all of us to change lives. Our board provides guidance and oversight. Volunteers provide meals and other assistance, and donors provide items and funding to help run the shelter. All of that comes together so that our staff can be on hand, ready to respond when they are needed with the appropriate tools. We are all ending homelessness by helping one person at a time.
That is why we are here to ask for your help. Please make a donation in any amount to help change someone's life. We can't do this without your help.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't yet, please check out our website, crossroadshouse.org. Read our stories, watch our videos, sign up for our e-newsletter, and follow us on Facebook. Share with your friends. Please feel free to reach out to our staff if you'd like more information about how you can help, and stay tuned for future announcements.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are so grateful that you chose to spend part of your evening with us. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for your support. Good night.
Thank you so much. We are full of gratitude for your generosity. Good night.